Welcome to Tom and Ben News Wikipedia News Edition. On 21st episode is Electronic Arts.
Electronic Arts Incorporated, EA, is an American video game company headquartered in Redwood City, California.
It is the second largest gaming company in the Americas and Europe by revenue and market capitalization after Activision Blizzard and ahead of Take-Two Interactive and Ubisoft as of March 2018.
Founded and incorporated on May 27, 1982, by Apple employee Trip Hawkins, the company was a pioneer of the early home computer games industry and was notable for promoting the designers and programmers responsible for its games.
EA published numerous games and productivity software for personal computers and later experimented on techniques to internally develop games, leading to the 1987 release of Skate or Die.
Currently, EA develops and publishes games of established franchises, including Battlefield, Need for Speed, The Sims, Medal of Honor, Command & Conquer, Dead Space, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Army of Two, Titanfall, and Star Wars. As well as EA Sports titles FIFA, Madden NFL, NBA Live, NHL, and EA Sports UFC.
Their desktop titles appear on Self-Developed Origin, an online gaming digital distribution platform for PCs and a direct competitor to Valve's Steam and Epic Games Store.
EA also owns and operates major gaming studios such as EA Tiburon in Orlando, EA Vancouver in Burnaby, DICE in Sweden and Los Angeles, BioWare in Edmonton and Austin, and Respawn Entertainment in Los Angeles. Trip Hawkins had been an employee of Apple since 1978, at a time when the company had only about 50 employees.
Over the next 4 years, the market for home personal computers skyrocketed.
By 1982, Apple had completed its initial public offering, IPO, and become a Fortune 500 company with over 1,000 employees. In February 1982, Trip Hawkins arranged a meeting with Don Valentine of Sequoia Capital to discuss financing his new venture, Imagine Software.
Valentine encouraged Hawkins to leave Apple, where Hawkins served as director of product marketing and allowed Hawkins use of Sequoia Capital's spare office space to start the company.
On May 27, 1982, Trip Hawkins incorporated and established the company with a personal investment of an estimated US $200,000. For more than 7 months, Hawkins refined his Electronic Arts business plan.
With aid from his first employee, with whom he worked in marketing at Apple, Rich Snellman, the original plan was written, mostly by Hawkins, on an Apple II in Sequoia Capital's office in August 1982.
During that time, Hawkins also employed 2 of his former staff from Apple, Dave Evans and Pat Marriott, as producers, and a Stanford MBA classmate, Jeff Burton, from Atari for International Business Development.
The business plan was again refined in September and reissued on October 8, 1982.
By November, employee headcount rose to 11, including Tim Mott, Jim Gordon, David Maynard, and Steve Hayes.
Having outgrown the office space provided by Sequoia Capital, the company relocated to a San Mateo office that overlooked the San Francisco Airport landing path.
Headcount rose rapidly in 1983, including Don Daglow and Richard Hillman. When he incorporated the company, Hawkins originally chose Imagine Software as their company name, but his other early employees of the company universally disliked the name and it changed its name to Electronic Arts in November 1982.
He scheduled an off-site meeting in the Pajaro Dunes, where the company once held such off-site meetings.
Hawkins had developed the ideas of treating software as an art form and calling the developers software artists.
Hence, the latest version of the business plan had suggested the name Soft Art.
However, Hawkins and Melman knew the founders of Software Arts, the creators of VisiCalc, and thought their permission should be obtained.
Whoa!
Dan Bricklin did not want the name used because it sounded too similar, perhaps confusingly similar, to Software Arts.
However, the name concept was liked by all the attendees.
Hawkins had also recently read a best-selling book about the film studio United Artists and liked the reputation that the company had created.
Hawkins said everyone had a vote, but they would lose it if they went to sleep. Hawkins liked the word electronic, and various employees had considered the phrases electronic artists and electronic arts.
When Gordon and others pushed for electronic artists in tribute to the film company United Artists, Steve Hayes opposed it, saying, "We're not the artists, the developers are." This statement from Hayes immediately tilted sentiment towards electronic arts, and the name was unanimously endorsed and adopted later in 1982.
He recruited his original employees from Apple, Atari, Xerox PARC, and VZ4, and got Steve Wozniak to agree to sit on the board of directors. Hawkins was determined to sell directly to hires.
Combined with the fact that Hawkins was pioneering new game brands, this made sales growth more challenging.
Retailers wanted to buy known brands from existing distribution partners.
Former CEO Larry Probst arrived as VP of Sales in late 1984 and helped expand the already successful company.
This policy of dealing directly with retailers gave EA higher margins and better market awareness, key advantages the company would leverage to leapfrog its early competitors. A novel approach to giving credit to its developers was one of EA's trademarks in its early days.
This characterization was even further reinforced with EA's packaging of most of their games in the album cover, pioneered by EA, because Hawkins thought that a record album style would both save costs and convey an artistic feeling.
EA routinely referred to their developers as artists and gave them photo credits in their games and numerous full-page magazine ads.
Their first such ad, accompanied by the slogan, "We See Farther," was the first video game advertisement to feature software designers.
EA also shared lavish profits with their developers, which added to their industry appeal.
The Square album cover boxes, such as the covers for 1983's Alien Pinball Construction Set, were a popular packaging concept by Electronic Arts, which wanted to represent their developers as rock stars.
In the mid-1980s, Electronic Arts aggressively marketed products for the Commodore Amiga, a premier home computer of the late 1980s and early 1990s in Europe.
Commodore had given EA development tools and prototype machines before Amiga's actual launch.
For Amiga, EA published some notable non-game titles.
A drawing program Deluxe Paint, 1985, and its subsequent versions became perhaps the most famous piece of software available for Amiga platform.
In addition, EA's Jerry Morrison conceived the idea of a file format that could store images, animations, sounds, and documents simultaneously and would be compatible with third-party software.
He wrote and released to the public the interchange file format, which would soon become an Amiga standard.
Other Amiga programs released by EA included Deluxe Music Construction Set, Instant Music, and Deluxe Paint Animation.
Some of them, most notably Deluxe Paint, were ported to other platforms.
For Macintosh, EA released a black and white animation tool called Studio/1 and a series of paint titles called Studio/8 and Studio/32, 1990.
The Amiga will revolutionize the home computer industry. It's the first home machine that has everything you want and need for all the major uses of a home computer, including entertainment, education, and productivity. The software we're developing for the Amiga will blow your socks off. We think the Amiga, with its incomparable power, sound, and graphics, will give Electronic Arts and the entire industry a very bright future. I One Half Trip Hawkins, 1985 Amiga advertisement.
Relationships between Electronic Arts and their external developers often became difficult when the latter missed deadlines or diverged from the former's creative directions.
In 1987, EA released State or Die, their first internally developed game.
EA would continue publishing their external developers' games while experimenting with their internal development strategy.
This led to EA's decision of purchasing out a series of companies they identify as successful, as well as the decision to release annualized franchises to cut budget costs.
Because of Trip Hawkins' obsession of simulating a sports game, he signed a contract with football coach John Madden that would lead to EA's developing and releasing annual Madden NFL games. In 1988, EA published a flight simulator game exclusively for Amiga F/A, a Team Interceptor with full polygon graphics that were advanced for the time.
Another significant Amiga release, also initially available for Atari ST, later converted for numerous other platforms, was Populous, 1989, developed by Bullfrog Productions.
It was a pioneering and influential title in the genre that was later called God Games. In 1990, Electronic Arts began producing console games for the Nintendo Entertainment System after previously licensing its computer games to other console game publishers.
A year later, Trip Hawkins stepped down as EA's CEO and was succeeded by Larry Probst to found the now-defunct 3DO company, while remaining the former company's chair until July 1994.
Once a critic of game consoles, Hawkins conceived a console that, unlike its competitors, would not require a first-party license to be marketed and was intended to appeal to the PC market.
In October 1993, 3DO developed the 3DO Interactive Multiplayer, which at the time was the most powerful game console.
Electronic Arts was the 3DO company's primary partner in sponsoring their console, showcasing on it their latest games.
With a retail price of US $700, equivalent to $1,238.91 in 2019. Compared to its competitors' $100, the console lagged in sales, and with a 1995 arrival to North America of Sony's PlayStation, a cheaper and more powerful alternative. Combined with a lower quality of the 3DO's software library as a backfiring of its liberal license policy, it fell further behind and lost competition.
Electronic Arts dropped its support for 3DO in favor of the PlayStation. 3DO's production ceased in 1996, and for the remainder of the company's lifetime, 3DO would develop video games for other consoles and the IBM PC until it folded in 2003. In 1995, Electronic Arts won the European Computer Trade Show Award for Best Software Publisher of the Year.
As the company was still expanding, They opted to purchase space in Redwood Shores, California in 1995 for construction of a new headquarters, which was completed in 1998.
Early in 1997, Next Generation identified Electronic Arts as the only company to regularly profit from video games over the past 5 years, and noted it had a critical track record second to none. We will continue about Electronic Arts in part 2, so stay tuned.